Hey guys, how's it going? Professor Shuckle here, and today I'm back with another Pokemon Draft League video. This time I'll be going over my Week 4 game for the WoW, and against the owner of the league in TJ, who's also a Smogon mod, a DPL mod, and any other thing? I don't remember, but he's been around for a while. He's been playing draft for like 5-6 years, maybe. He lost like every single history of like draft league, basically, I would say. And surprisingly, I've never teamed with him or played him before, which is really surprising because we've been like in this, private server of friends for a good time now, 2-3 years. Yeah, and we've never teamed or played, which is pretty funny. Anyway, first time against him, so it should be fun. He's really good, despite all what most people would say. I think he's really good. I don't know why people bully him for no reason. And yeah, and he's really really analytical and prep, puts in a lot of work, thinks through the end games and stuff. Like he preps really well. Just sometimes has like confidence issues, I would say, but he's pretty solid. So, you have a work cut out for us if you want to keep our win streak alive. Anyway, let's jump into the matchup. Our opponent has a team of Dragapult, Enamorous Incarnate, Ursaluna, Glimora, Tauros, the water fighting one, Mesprit, Skeledirge, Toedscruel, Earthworm, and Grimmsnarl. So, pretty scary team for sure. Dragapult was something I was considering drafting myself, as if you guys watch my draft analysis. It was between Iron Valiant and Dragapult, and I was hoping I wouldn't have to make the choice, but I had to, and I went with Valiant because new toy syndrome. But Dragapult is really, really good. The fairies are not really good this gen, so Dragon, typing is obviously pretty strong. And our Steel to resist Dragon is weak to Shadow Ball, right? So it's kind of tough. And obviously it has a bunch of sets. It can be like Banded Darts, it can be like, Dragon Dance, Will-O-Wisp Hex, just utility, U-Turn. You can do a bunch of stuff, T-Wave. So pretty scary for sure. And obviously the speed is really annoying. It's faster than my whole team outside of Scarfers. So yeah, definitely annoying. Enamorous, another big threat. I've seen this. There's this my friend Owen's video and for like BBR where they have Terra allowed, so he was Terra Fairy, Choice Specs, and he just clicked Moonblast like 6 times and got 5 kills, which is crazy. And even here, I think it's pretty scary into my team. Moonblast plus Earth Power literally hits my whole team. I can't really resist it that well. Superpower is definitely scary, but I don't think it gets a move to hit Goldengo on the physical side without Terra. So it might need to be Moonblast Earth Power, but I think it does really well. And then that way you can also Agility if you really need to, and that can definitely be scary for sure, like the late game Agility and Am. So definitely scary for sure. Ursaluna is like broken, right? Like if you can get it in safely, it's gonna put in the work. And again, it has a bunch of sets. It's not just the Guts Flame Orb. It can Trailblaze and be scary if you're not prepped for it. It can just be, AV, Bulk Up, Lower Berry, and it still hits really hard. It doesn't really need the Guts Flame Orb set. So, again, definitely scary, right? The top 3, pretty scary offensively, I would say. Glimora, pretty solid. My hazard removal is not the best, and Glimora actually beats my removal. So, I definitely expect it to come and start setting hazards up. It cannot spin, so in theory, I could try to set my own hazards and block them with Goldengo, because Goldengo does well into both. Well, not as well into Toedscruel, but it does pretty well into Glimora. And, yeah, like Glimora, again, like you can set hazards, Scarf could be scary, and just, like Spidef Glimora for like Noivern also works, right? So, yeah, and hazards definitely annoying. Tauros, I think is pretty good. It's like pretty hard to switch into as well. Like Noivern can, and Rotom to an extent, but like it also has Jet for priority, which kind of like can stop Valiant and Lando and Arcanine, right? And Obviously, Intimidate is pretty good as well into my team. A lot of my team is physically offensive. So another mon I expect to come, another one that's kind of hard to switch into. Esper, pretty good glue piece. It can set rocks, you know, Ice Beam, Shadow Bolt, Underway, whatever. It can be the Valiant check for sure with like Colbur. So yeah, Skeletor, I don't think is the well. It could be annoying with like a Flame Charge set with like Torch Song, Shadow Bolt, Earth Power, or even like Wisp or something. Could definitely be annoying. But without Terra, I feel like it's a little hard for it to like switch in easily, just because the weaknesses are so exploitable. I could definitely see it coming though as a check to Valiant, like if he doesn't want to risk the Mesprit. So definitely see it. TOEDSCRUEL, again, I don't have Hazard, so my removal's not the best. Although I think Noivern's pretty okay into TOEDSCRUEL, but again, TOEDSCRUEL can knock off as well. I think it's his only knockoff, right? Yeah. Can knock off, can spore. It can also spore like Goldango, which is pretty big with its ability. So yeah, TOEDSCRUEL can definitely come, can be annoying. Earthworm, I don't really see coming, to be honest. I think the others are just better. Grimmsnarl could come to set screens. Yeah, so could come to set screens, parting shot out. Have the threat of T-Wave, you know, and then like Spirit Break still is pretty annoying into my team, and then like my Resistor, Goldango, and Arcanine, and if I don't bring Arcanine, then like it's kind of tough. So yeah, could definitely see Grimmsnarl coming, but if I had to guess, I would expect the top 6, I would think. If anything, one of them gets dropped for Grimmsnarl, if I had to guess. So yeah, on our side, Valiant's pretty good. He doesn't really switch into it that well, but I wasn't sure what was the best approach here. If I should go physical, if I should go special, if I should be Scarf. Just, you know, a little bit like, I guess the Valiant side depends on the rest of the team here, based on like what I need to check, because obviously I do need to worry about Pult and Scarf and Amorous, or like other Scarfers, so Scarf Valiant would be pretty consistent, but there's also boost energy if I can, you know, position it properly that way. Goldango is pretty good, and I feel like Goldango is actually pretty good offensively in most matchups. It's just defensively, it's a little tough, but I feel like it's my only way of like not losing to Enamorous right away, so it has to come. Orlando is okay. Like, he can definitely put pressure, and Scarf can be, you know, pretty annoying for him to deal with like U-turn, Crunch, Earthquake. Losing knockoff hurts a little bit, but although I found it like annoying, I didn't want to Scarf Lando just because there's like 3 ground immunities and 1 resist, so I was like, ugh. That was a little annoying, but it does hit hard, and if I can catch things on like Mesprit on the U-turn, it's gonna do a chunk of damage, right? So definitely still really good into this matchup. Intim's nice versus Luna as well, for sure. So yeah, Rotom, you know, does Rotom things. I think it's a good check into Tauros. Although CC still does quite a bit, but still decent, and it gives like another thing that's not weak to spikes and T-spikes, which helps a little bit, so like I'm not forced to remove for them. Can also be like, you know, chill on Rotom could be a thing for like Ursaluna potentially. So stuff like that, and obviously Thunderwave and stuff can go a long way as well. Especially if he brings the top 6, then like I feel Rotom's pretty strong for sure. Zarude, I didn't think had the best matchup because he can't really do much versus the Enam, which resists 4 times the Crunch and 2 times the Power Whip. So I felt like, you know, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do with it. Plus I have to deal with like Intim from Tauros. So it's like, oh, if I run Clear Amulet, but if Toxic Debris goes up, then I might get poisoned. And if I run Boots, then I'm gonna just get Intim and like cycled out. So it might be tough. But maybe it could work because like it's it doesn't really hit Enam, but it can definitely hit the other stuff. So, and like it can get T-waved by the Grimmsnarl, so which is pretty big, and like can't be put to sleep by the TOEDSCRUEL. And his only U-turns like Mesprit and Dragapult. So if like, you know, we get a Trailblaze up or Scarf, can definitely maybe put in some work. So Zero still decent in the matchup, I would say. Arcanine looks pretty strong, like Head Smash, Flare Blitz, Close Combat, Extreme Speed for priority, although it doesn't really hit pulled, so you would have to be like, you know, just for the Enam or... Yeah, E-Speed's actually not that good now that I'm looking at it. Could be Flame Charge, but then again, Tauros could have the Aqua Jet, so I didn't feel like a Sweeping Set's the best here. Also, like Intim, and if I kind of am forced into Boots here, it's not like I can swap out. And a lot of his team does get ground coverage, so definitely a little hard to get it in. But if I do get it in, like Flare Blitz and Head Smash does look pretty solid if I predict right. Noivern can definitely be annoying, like, you know, Taunt or Defog or Super Fang stuff, Hurricane. But again, I feel like it just doesn't hit hard enough, and Glimmora should just wall this thing, right? So, yeah, I don't know. Like, Noivern's okay, and then Dunsparce is probably needed for the Dragapult. It can actually check it okay. And if we can get some Glare offs, which is pretty nice, because he only has Healing Wish, I believe, to bring stuff back, so he kind of has to sack one to make something healthy, which can be good for us. Quagsire, I feel like, is too weak to deal with the threats here, and can be taken advantage of, so not the biggest fan of it. And similar with Mach, like, it can't do much versus a Ursaluna, so I don't think I'll be bringing it. So with that, let's jump into the team, and starting off, I'm bringing Arcanine with heavy duty boots, max attack, enough speed for the Glimmora. So I think I'm running 299, and I'm running Stab, so Flare Blitz, Head Smash, Close Combat, Stealth Rock, and Rockhead as the ability. I just felt this was the best chance of getting rocks, because it does, I feel like it forces a switch into like Tauros or Ursaluna maybe, and I can get up my rocks and then swap out, and then rocks pressure can be good. Obviously, as I said, Stab's pretty strong into his team, and then CC is just for the Ursaluna. Yeah, I think if I can get it in, it's not bad, but obviously if it's having to switch in and this thing's faster, like Enam or Tauros, then it's not going to do much work, but it should be able to take hits on from the Dragapult pretty easily, and it should be able to bop the Glimmora and like Mesprit, Skeledirge, TOEDSCRUEL and stuff. I don't know if he brings TOEDSCRUEL, if it'll be faster than the Arcanine or if it'll be bulky, so, you know, that's something to keep in mind as well. And yeah, that's the Arcanine, and Rockhead has the ability so we don't take recoil. Next up, Goldengo with the Shuka Berry, and pretty bulky and offensive, and then we have enough speed for no speed Skeledirge, I believe. That's what we're creeping, because without Terra, we know the Skeledirge cannot Terra out to not be weak to Shadow Ball, which is good. And we're running Shadow Ball, Make It Rain, Recover, Nasty Plot. So just the usual plot, recover 2 stats. Shuka Berry is for the Enamorous, so like we don't lose to it, even if it's like Agility, because I feel like Agility Enamorous is pretty scary into our team. Yeah, so we can eat it with the Shuka Berry and just take it out and Make It Rain, which is pretty epic. And yeah, that's about it. Otherwise, it just hits really hard. It can block the spin from Glimmora, and if needed, I can just stand on the Glimmora and Make It Rain, if needed, so it's pretty cool. Next up, Choice Scarf Valiant with max attack, enough speed for Enamorous, so in case of Scarf Enamorous. And we're running mostly physical, and I just put the rest in special attack for the Moonblast. We're running Close Combat, Knockoff, and Ice Punch, which actually hit his team pretty hard. Moonblast was just for the Tauros and like the Grimmsnarl, but because of the Intim, I felt like Moonblast was better, and it might make him think I'm special, but then, you know, I reveal I'm physical and can chip things that way. The physical Ice Punch also hits the Enamorous a little harder, I believe, so that's good. But yeah, basically the main job is to not lose to Dragapult and like Scarf Enamorous or something other Scarfer. It's like the speed control basically, and it hits hard, so that's nice. Next up we have Landorus with the Adrenaline Orb, and max pressure attack, enough speed for the Glimmora. And we're running Nasty Blood, 3 attacks, Earth Power, Sludge Bomb, Focus Blast. The Adrenaline Orb is for the Tauros, which I believe should be Intim, and it might like try to switch in to revenge the Lando, and I get the Adrenaline boost, and then I can take a couple of kills. Earth Power is pretty strong, outside of like the resist, but then Sludge Bomb KOs the Enamorous, does pretty good damage to the Mesprit. And if, like, even if you don't kill, that's good chip for the Valiant endgame, right? So that's what I was basically going for. And I want to run Grass Knot for the Ursaluna, but as this, if in case he brought Earthworm, I didn't want to be, you know, completely shut down by the Earthworm. So I just teched on Focus Blast because it does hit the Ursaluna and the Earthworm. So basically, that's the set. Hopefully it works. I feel like it's pretty cool. But yeah, I just wanted basically to force in the Mesprit to take chip, essentially, which can be nice. Next up, I Rotom Wash with the Light Clay, pretty physically bulky, and we're running Hydro Pump, Volt Switch, and Screens. I wasn't really sure what to do with Rotom. It does feel pretty good into his top 6 because Hydro plus Wolf. But then I was like, oh, maybe I can set up Screens to kind of make it easy for the rest of my team to like switch around because I don't really switch into his team that well. So that's basically the Rotom. You know, just usual Rotom stuff. And last, I have the Dunsparce with the Eviolite. Mixed defenses to kind of try and take on the Dragapult and maybe the Enamorous. And we're running Glare, Earthquake, Headbutt, and Roost. Glare's just to spread paralysis. Earthquake hits the Glamora and the Skeledirge. Headbutt was, you know, in case, like, if I get a Glare on, like, Ursaluna, for example, or if I'm faster, because I think we both have the same speed, I think. If not, like, so be it. But if I'm able to get a Glare off on the Ursaluna, which would be pretty big, in case he's, like, not Flame Orb, right? I can maybe just try to wear him down with Headbutt flinches. What's the plan? And then Roost for longevity. So, yeah, that's the team. Let's jump into the game. I believe, looking at this 6, which is basically the top 5, but no Mesprit, right? Yeah, TOEDSCRUEL and some Mesprit. And I looked at TOEDSCRUEL, I was like, dang, I didn't prep for this thing that well, and this like double hazard Cyrus, which can be really annoying versus no removal. But versus this, I felt like the Dunsparce looked pretty strong as a lead. The only bad lead was Tauros, which I wasn't sure was going to lead or not. So I was like, I can just lead Dunsparce right here, right? So I lead Dunsparce as he leads Glamora, and I just click Earthquake here, trying to, you know, break this thing's Sash if it is Sash. If not, like, I can always Glare the next turn if needed. So I just click the Earthquake as he does get up his rocks, and then the Toxic Debris pops, and he gets the T-Spikes up as well. And then expecting him to save this as a sack, I click Glare as the Tauros does come in, and we're able to Glare it, which is pretty cool. So now our Arcanine and Goldango should be faster than this, unless he's Scarf, right? Or even actually with Scarf, because... no, my Arcanine will be faster, even if he's Scarf, but my Goldango won't be. But, you know... my Lando will be, which is nice. He's also in him, so I was like, oh, okay, if I can get my Lando in on this guy, then I can definitely, you know, maybe pressure him a little bit, especially if, depending on the Lando health, I might not be in range of Aqua Jet. So, that's pretty cool. I just go into Rotom as he does click the CC, and it does 43. Since I'm defensive, I feel like that's Bandit. I didn't calc this, but I don't know, it felt like defensive. And here I just decided to click the Hydro Pump, expecting the Glamora sack, but I was expecting the Glamora sack, but on the off chance he went into one of his glands, I was just like, oh, I can just Hydro and, you know, do some damage. But he goes into TOEDSCRUEL, and here I was like, oh, I don't have a switch for this because I don't have safety goggles on anything, and I kind of need, you know, like everything. And I don't really want to get knocked or spored. So I was like, okay, in case he goes for knockoff or spore as the mid ground, I can try to get up my screen, right? But he does click the energy ball and take out my Rotom, so I was like, okay, cool. I can just go into my Dunsparce now, as he does swap out, deciding to save it as I went for the Glare, as he does get in his Tauros. And now I don't have a War Resist, so I knew the War move was coming out and didn't really want to take it on anything. So I just decided to stay and I click Headbutt, maybe hoping I'm faster, but he is faster. So in hindsight, I probably should have EV'd this to be faster than this after paralysis, because then I could maybe try to Headbutt flinch this down. But here I just decided to sack the Dunsparce to get some positioning, as he wave crashes again and takes me out. So I bring in my Valiant because it's the only thing, like, you know, that took this thing on. Maybe I could have gone in Lando, Not sure. But I'm going to Valiant and just click Moonblast as he sacks Glamora, which is cool. I believe the Enamorous comes out now, so I just swap into the Goldengo. And he does click the Moonblast, gets the drop, not a big deal. As I just click the Make It Rain, and it does 30. Actually, was it a big deal? Not really. It's like 30%, who cares? The TOEDSCRUEL comes in, so I'm just going to Lando expecting the Earth's power, which is what happened. And here expecting him to switch to save this, in case, I U-turn or whatever. I clicked Plot, but he used to be pretty fast, so I guess he was creeping the Arcanine, or actually, my Lando is faster than the Arcanine, so he was definitely like creeping the, he was fast TOEDSCRUEL, right, basically, maybe he was AV. I click Sludge Bomb and I don't kill it, and this thing is pretty bulky, and that was pretty surprising, because +2 Sludge Bomb when using 33 is crazy. But I suppose to make a rain drop matter, because this would be dead without it, right? Because it did 31, it would have done like 45, which would be 15 more %. So yeah, I guess it would have mattered because this would be dead, but I guess it, like, overall, it doesn't matter. But I would have, he would have one less sack, basically. But all cool. He clicks Energy Ball, takes me out here, which is fine. Everything's slower than this, so I'm forced to go into Valiant, and I believe I click Moonblast again, and I do a good chunk of damage to the Ursaluna. So like, oh, he's either offensive or like not, or Valiant's just broken. But I'm going to Goldengo. I believe he just clicked Earthquake because I don't have a resist. We're able to live it with the Sugar Berry, so we can fire off another Make It Rain. And sadly, don't get the KO, which is sad. I mean, again, I don't think it mattered in the grand scheme of things, but I go Arcanine now, and I just click Flare Blitz, take this thing out. He knows I'm boot, so he can just go Enamorous and click Earth Power and take me out, which is cool. I go into Valiant. This is pretty much over, right? Like, I can't really win. I have to pick a move to lock into. Moonblast doesn't kill this, so I was like, my only hope was like Ice Punch Freeze, potentially. And then the Tauros gets paired a bunch of times, and then Ice Punch crit on the Dragapult, maybe. So I just ran for my win con, right? But I don't kill, it does 83, and he's able to click Moonblast and take me out. And that'll be the game. So really well played by TJ. Pretty convincing for a win. Like, he out-prepped us, outplayed us, I would say. Things happen. Yeah, can't. No, because I don't want to take anything from TJ's win. He just played better. Although, I would say it's not as bad as it looks, because, like, 13%, 17%, like, parried at 60, so it's like, maybe if I was, like, a booster Valiant, and I kind of try to play around that, maybe it could have been spicy in the endgame. But yeah, I didn't really prep for the TOEDSCRUEL, and it kind of bit me in the ass, like it did a lot of work versus me. And yeah, the Bandit Tauros was good. I don't even really know what the pulse was, it never came out. So yeah, really commanding win from TJ. Good job. So that brings us down to 3-1 with +4 diff and 6 points. I don't know if I mentioned this, but we're doing like this point system thing, which is like 2 points for a win. But if you win 5-0 or better, you get an additional point. And if you lose, but you only lose like 1-0 or 2-0, you get a point as well. To kind of like make things spicy, which I kind of like. I would have just probably made it. I think I would have made it 3 points for a win. And no bonus points if you win, but if you lose only 1-0 or 2-0, you get a bonus point, 1 point. I think that makes it more fair. I feel like you need the, how Premier League does 3 points for a win, 1 for a draw. I feel like you need something like that, not the 2-1 is too close. And I feel like you don't really need an incentive to win, right? You should try to win anyway, right? So I don't think you need the incentive for the bonus point, personally. And like, again, I don't really believe in diff, so that's the other thing. Like, I don't think there's a big difference between 5-0 or 1-0, personally. So, yeah, but well played to TJ, and hopefully we can bounce back next week. I was forced to post-com this because TJ was busy because he was playing a bunch of games, so I had to rush and play him on Friday, and then I was heading out for like 24 hours. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna play it, and then I gotta leave, and then I'll record it later. So this one's gonna be post-com. It's not because I lost. It's just timings didn't work out. And I play my week 5 tomorrow, I believe, because I'm recording this on the Sunday. Because yeah, I didn't even get time to record it yesterday, and I think I'm playing week 5 next week, tomorrow, and hopefully I can live comment unless something comes up and I need to rush. Then in which case I might not. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully you guys learned. Like, you can learn from your losses too. In fact, you learn more from your losses than from your wins if you're smart. Yeah, thank you guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.